Hi there. Right, well, good morning. Look at that, fog walk. It's pretty awesome. I love fog walks. It's like the walking version of sensory deprivation. And it can help simplify things a little bit with photography as well, in terms of compositions. So I've brought my, let's see, I've brought my X100V, and I'm just going for a quick walk, and we're going to see what compositions I can see, and I'll maybe talk a little bit about what I'm planning over the next little while. First thing that I'm planning is to try and you might have seen on my channel there's a video called Finding Your Own or Making Your Own Mojo, and that's kind of what I've been doing. Unfortunately, when I got to the end of that video, health issues struck. I woke up one morning with a paralysed arm, suspected mini stroke. Turns out it looks like it wasn't actually a mini stroke. It looks like it was, I've had this before, a very rare kind of migraine. So it's a step forward. It means I didn't have a stroke, which is great. And now that I've had a second one, it's taken about 8 years for a second one to happen, mind you. Might be able to move forward a little bit, which is great. But the upshot of it was, I wasn't allowed to drive for 4 weeks, so I'd just been going to my studio after 18 months of lockdown. I just started to get into a routine, and then that happened, and 4 weeks of not being able to get back in again. So this is take 2, trying to get back into this way of working, and it's kind of like, I mean, I was regularly in my studio before the pandemic, but it took a while to get to that stage, to actually try and establish a practice, although I'm still not sure if I really understand what that means. It's a very nebulous concept, and I'll maybe go into that in another video. But you know, working like an artist, putting the effort in, I guess. It was difficult. Right, I have found something. I am interested in this here. I think the fog just works wonders with it. So what I'm going to do is attach you back to my strap, and we'll see if I can make a composition out of this. I think you're set up. Now let's see if I can get me set up. Can you see that? I think you can. Right, so actually I think that's looking really nice. Shutter speed is too high, so I'm gonna, depth of field really doesn't matter on a foggy day like this, in my opinion. So I'm going to reduce depth of the f-stop and increase the shutter speed. I wonder if I can have the histogram on here. I haven't got that set up at the moment. I'll maybe do that later, but that's looking okay actually. I think that's black and white. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool actually. We'll go with that. Right, let's go for a walk. So I just realised that I filmed this bit in the wrong mode. I was doing a hyperlapse. So I came in here and ended up very interested in this field. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I just wanted to try and get just like an almost Rothko-esque division of colour across the screen. I'm not a big fan of rule of thirds or anything like that, so I actually do tend to try and play around that rather than using it specifically. It's a good tool, but not something I try and live by. And then I was quite interested in this gate here. Right, it's looking a bit dark and gloomy in there, but that's Fogwalks for you. Yeah, so one of the things that I wanted to talk about is what I'm planning with the channel. Somebody coming behind with a bike. What's over there? Nothing. I think that man growled. Right, again, I'm looking for division of the canvas. Anyone behind me? No, just an old fella going the other way. Look at that, that's absolutely gorgeous. I love Fogwalks. So yeah, I currently this week, well today, after this walk I'm going into the studio, yay. And I'm going to be working on a video that I started last week when I finally could drive again. I'm not sure which is going to go up, this one first or that one, but I caved in and started. I succumbed to the allure of film after 25 years away from it, really. It's maybe not that long, maybe 20 years, still a long time. And I've bought like 4 film cameras now. The first one that I bought was a Perkio. Today's walk seems to be sponsored by grumpy older men. Yeah, I succumbed to the allure of film after 2+ decades, and the first one I got was actually a Perkio 1, which I still haven't tested properly. I totally messed up using film. More grumpy old men coming. Cut to the next speech. Apologies if you hear a foghorn in the background and some machinery. I'm near an oil terminal, actually. I think it's an oil terminal near Brayfoot, and there's a foghorn blasting away as well. Yeah, so I reckon I might not get interrupted now. I caved on some film gear for the first time in 25 years, 20-ish years. The first one was an old 1950s Perkio 1. It's not been entirely successful so far, but that is me forgetting the ins and outs of analog photography. I think I'm about ready to try it again now, because the video that I'm going to be working on today when I get to the studio is going to be on my all-time favourite analog camera, which is the Minox 35. I had one all my way through, or most of the way through my photography degree back in the 90s, and I loved it, and I've never found anything that matches it. And I gave it a spin last week and made a video about it, so I'm working on that today. I'm going to be making a few of these videos because I went on a bit of a spending spree because I've discovered I actually really do love film. I'm not going to be ditching digital. This channel will probably be more focused on just the practice of photography. I'm not really tribal like that. As long as you get on with the camera you have, That's all that really matters to me. So as far as the channel goes, I will be probably covering just what it takes to be, in my case, a fine art photographer, and actually examining what that is, because that's a really nebulous concept. You can see, I think, just at the end of this path, you can see where the refinery starts. Yeah, and that wasn't me. That is the foghorn. Sheeps. I'm enjoying this walk though. The other thing I kind of want to focus, certainly just now, is I mentioned in a previous video I have chronic health issues, and that can actually affect how you work as a photographer. Certainly affects the amount of gear you can carry. In my case, it affects camera shake. There's lots of things that, you know, chronic fatigue, for example, or neurological problems can really get in the way of photography if you're not careful. And, you know, it might be easy to say, well, take a tripod. A tripod's extra weight, so you have to consider that as well. Oh, hang on. This is nice. I'm going to stick you back on. I'm still getting used to the accoutrements of having a little action camera. I'm using an Osmo Action here, and I'm not used to the GoPro mounts it uses and all that kind of stuff. Right, I am interested in this view in front of me, so I'm just trying to figure out the best arrangement. Bring it down a little. It's very dark. Let's try that. I'm not sure I prefer having these two in the middle. There, that might work. I'm really attracted to this setup as well. I quite like, let's go here. Just a little bit closer up, because it's actually quite a wide lens on the X100V. Quite like just having it look monochrome and then having this hint of colour come through in the fog. Right, I've been dawdling talking to you. Is there anything up here? There is. Okay. So I quite like, I'm going to try and there's a nasty ugly fence down here, so I'm going to have to get rid of that. Let's just try shallower depth of field. Focus there. There, that's better. That's interesting. I really like that. I love fog walks. So I'm probably going to go down there for one of my videos before the end of autumn. And there's some interesting structures down there that I keep on wanting to make something about, so I'll probably do that. That's on the way to Brayfoot Point. And it's quite busy around here actually. Wasn't expecting it to be busy at this time of morning. Daft of me. I mean, everyone walks their dogs this time of morning, I suppose. That's not me. Somewhere over there. It's not going to be the main focus, but I'm going to incorporate information into most videos I do, certainly gear videos, about what this is like for somebody who has grip issues, weakness in terms of like neuromuscular problems. All of these things are going to be part of the channel. I'm not gonna make a massive deal of it, but it is something that affects my work, so it's something that's going to be in there. So in terms of plans, I'm gonna work on, once the Minox video's done, I'm going to see how this video turns out, and I might, what's the word, iterate it and turn this kind of thing into something that I can make easily and quickly, and do that on a regular basis. I'm going to be doing certainly some analog gear videos. I have the Minox one coming. I'm going to do Perkio properly. I have another very interesting old 1950s rangefinder, not a Leica, that I'm going to work through. I'm going to do a video on the water meter, which is like an add-on rangefinder, which is interesting and a beautiful piece of design in my opinion. And I just ordered this weekend, I just ordered a Mamiya C220, which is I'm really excited about, because when I stopped working with analog, I was working with Hasselblad CF 500cm and a Mamiya 6MF, and I can't believe I got rid of them to get a digital camera in 2003. It just wasn't ready. It's the most detrimental thing I've ever done to my photography career, was jumping to digital so early. I had this dream of the kind of hybrid system that people use now, where they use film, might even develop it, but then they scan it because darkroom facilities are hard to come by. And at some point in my life maybe I'll be able to have a darkroom again, I don't know. But for now, there is something about for me, the more measured approach of film, which I hadn't realised I'd missed so much. All I knew was my digital process was making me not want to make any more images. And now that I've started working in film, just briefly, I kind of understand why that is. And I might be able to bring what I learned from film back to my digital process and just slow that down. But one thing I do know is I hate sifting through thousands of images per project. I can't stand it, so I need to trust my own abilities. So it's going to be a little bit about that, a little bit about establishing my practice again. I want to work towards a new exhibition, build up some portfolios, all that kind of stuff, I think. Is going to be part of the channel going forwards. I've called it Chronically Photographic. It used to be just my name, Christy McPherson. I've called it that because it has a double meaning for me. I am chronically ill and that affects my photography, so I'm going to be talking about that, talking about how it affects my practice and my gear choice. But also, I have been a photographer, first enthusiast and then artist, then pro, and then artist again, for, I hate to say it, but probably, I don't know, 35 years. So, and I'm only 50, and that means that photography for me is chronic. It is a lifelong affliction. So, yeah, that's where I hope to take the channel. I hope it's of benefit to people like me who have chronic illness. I hope it's of benefit to people who are chronic photographers. Please do excuse the background noise. My studio is really hot at the moment, so I've had to open the windows, and I'm right next to a busy road, so we get ambulances going past and the occasional boy racer who thinks drum and bass is just like the best thing since sliced bread. But yeah, I made a little bit of a rookie error towards the end of the video there, where I didn't realise I was running out of batteries. It's a new camera, so sorry about that. I was almost finished anyway. Basically, all I want to say is, if you watched this and watched it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and stay safe, folks. Bye.